So I want to talk about Mind's Eye, the game that was just released, that everybody tried it out. It looked really good during the cinematic trailer. It looked like one of those games where we could just like go into and just escape the reality and just feel a world that we haven't felt before. They involved a lot of robotic technology into the game, as well as I wouldn't say a huge open world, maybe more of like a half linear open world. And it's one of those things that to me just feels like it's another one of those like hype cash grabs, and then you later find out that it's so bad that Sony is refunding people's purchases through the store. Like that's when Sony should find these companies for even dare putting their product on the whole Sony name, because in all reality it's just another embarrassment. It's another upset for gaming. For people that have enjoyed the game, then that's great for them. But I don't want to spend that kind of money on a game that is broken. I remember I bought Cyberpunk 2077. I tried it out for the first time on the PS5, and I was impressed by the graphics, but then when I started to notice as you get deep into the game, there were bugs and glitches, and I was like, okay, this isn't what I was excited for. So yes, I'm washing my car again because I like to keep my car clean, and whatever bird doo-doo is on there, get that off. Okay, anyways, so plus I have a monthly package plan, so I get the best premium wash with all the fixings, make it look really nice. So what ended up happening is a lot of people bought into the Mind's Eye game. A lot of people are playing it, they're showing it off online. But one thing that people have to understand is that if they're releasing these games and they're not fully completed, like they're not finished, polished products, they're not fully cooked, then they know it doesn't matter if the game is fully polished and made, because people are going to spend money on it. So, like I said, the marketing, showing the cinematics of the trailer, that is crucial to selling a game. That's why this new Xbox showcase had a lot of good marketing involved, and I do believe it was from Activision, because Microsoft, I didn't see them ever put so much into it like an actual showcase. So I am convinced that that's how it happened. And now it's one of those things where literally you have a game that comes out that's supposed to be great, and a lot of people are already saying it's not great. It's got a lot of bugs. It's a mess. For $60, Sony's refunding people's purchases, and for great reason, because the game is not a finished game. And a lot of people are saying that the game, it will take forever for the game to finish being polished. So people are not going to wait for the game to be fixed about a year or two from now, because GTA 6 is just going to blow everything out of the water. Okay, you already know that. It's going to be that game that blows everything out of the water. And so it's going to be one of those games that's just not going to work to try to make better. It's not going to happen, you know? And that's my opinion. That's my opinion, is the game is not going to be better. In 2 years, it's not going to matter. People are going to play the game, they're going to like it, and then they're going to, okay, it's done. So my advice to you guys, just like I talk about the bundle packs, about the Call of Duty, I'm talking about gaming as a whole. Do yourself a favor. When you're hearing that a game is not running properly, is not polished, why would you buy the game? Why would you buy the game? Do you really think that your experience is going to be better than the person that's telling you all the bugs and all the glitches? Like, do you really think that all that hype and they're telling you, oh, this new game's coming out and it looks awesome, it looks amazing, the explosions, this, that, and the third, that's all meant to sink you in, man. That's all meant to sink you in. I've become an advocate against these people that make these games and they think that they're going to cash in on the game even when they know it's a buggy mess. Those people, those developers, should not even have a license to make games anymore. Not even a second chance, because they're already trying to cash grab from us right now as we speak. So, unacceptable in my opinion. Totally unacceptable. The company that made that game, yes. What is it? Like a private, a little small company or something? Unacceptable that you release a game, Mind's Eye, which looks great. The whole idea looks great. It looks great in terms of everything that it offers. But when it's a buggy mess and everything you try to do, the problem with gaming is if the game breaks your immersion, it breaks the interactive prospect of the game. If it breaks that feeling that you're playing a game and it breaks it breaks the immersion to reality, it's no longer fun anymore, because you know it's got glitches that shouldn't be there. I saw some videos when you get ran over by a car. Instead of the car pushing you out of the way and you die, you go through the car and die. So you turn into a ghost at the last minute right through the car. That's one of the things. Then I saw a video when you get out of the car, you're like Jetson. You're like George Jetson, where you go from opening the door to being in front of the car. like speed, like future. So, like, what is it? These companies, you're making these games. You want realism. You want the cinematics to catch us and blow us away. You want us to spend the money, but you can't even make the simple effects of a game to look and feel like it was made with authenticity and realism. You don't deserve a license to make games anymore, because you're trying to bring your company, your name out as if it's going to be the next big game, okay? You know, and here's the thing, like, I'm gonna go after my Polish developers, Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red. When Witcher 3 came out, okay, everybody was blown away by the game. It was one of those games where you fell in love with it, and it was one of those long medieval experiences. Now they released a Cyberpunk 2077, and the worst thing that these companies did, not just the developers for the games, but the actual developers for the consoles, the worst thing that they did this generation is they allowed this cross-generation platform making these games. The worst thing they did. If Xbox did not bring in the Xbox Series S, we wouldn't have this problem. If PlayStation didn't allow the PlayStation 4 games to be compatible with the next gen games, we wouldn't have this problem, because everything would have been made with authenticity. And I know that the whole chaos of what was going around around that time was, that's the exception. But at the same time, a lot of these developers should have said, nah, man, we got to make a more downgraded version for the last gen players. Hey, and another thing is too, there wasn't enough persuasion for these next gen consoles to be bought. Because if you have a console that's only showing it can only do 30 FPS when it's supposed to be more than 30, it's supposed to be 60 the norm and 120 at the extreme ultra, that's a problem. We bought the Xbox One X, and I felt like the Xbox One X had a more premium feel to it. I like my Series X, don't get me wrong. I like Xbox. When they make games and they make them complete and all, the Xbox is great. But when they're rushing these games, nothing good at all. Nothing good at all. And that's what's happening over and over and over again. When a game is rushed, you have to live with the bugs that you pay for. You're paying for bugs to go into your console. You're paying for bugs to go into your console. Not real bugs, but virtual bugs, okay? You might as well call it virtual cockroaches roaming around in your console, causing your game to crash, or causing the screen to glitch in ways that you never thought was even reasonable or possible. All right, so let's get back into Call of Duty. I still play Call of Duty, but Call of Duty's getting to the point where their skill-based matchmaking is so vamped up. I swear to God, they got some kind of like Kool-Aid, virtual Kool-Aid with the most sugar in it in this game. They fuel it up with this update, and the game doesn't even know how to operate. It is so crackhead fast. It's stool shit, not bullshit. It's stool shit. That's how bad it is. And I don't understand why they always want to hype everything up as if it's just going to get better and better. They're not going to fix your game. They're not going to fix my game. The new game's already being advertised. They're working on the new game. They want to see how much money they're going to make off of us on the new game. Black Ops 7, we don't want Black Ops 7. We didn't want Black Ops 6. We want Modern Warfare 4. We want Infinity Ward to give us realism. We want Infinity Ward to say enough of this shit. We want Infinity Ward to say enough of this shit. This stool shit. This diaper adult shit. Well, I'm ranting now. Now I'm ranting. Call it like it is. I'm ranting because people have had enough. I think there's more of us consumers that are supporting this company than there is the people in the company. Yes, there's a lot of people in the company that are working, but we're the ones that are keeping their food on their table, and we're the ones that are keeping them having their luxury life. Well, I wouldn't call it so luxury now with what's going on in California, but I'm not going to get deep into the politics of it. What I'm trying to say is this, is if we keep buying into this stuff, it will never stop. And the problem is one day, these people, the kids, there's a lot of kids that are basically manipulated into buying this stuff. Every time I'm playing the game and I log in, I always see some new person in my lobby, whether they want to be friends or they want to just play the game, whoever, and these could be adults too, they have the new skins. They're buying these skins. They don't realize what they're doing. They think they're having fun. They're not. They're not, because it only takes a couple days before their skill-based lobby turns into a shit stool shit, okay? Because they know, hey, this guy's got money, this girl's got money, so he or she already spent money on this skin. Give them about a week to feel good with this skin, and then make them feel like they got to get the better skin. That's why, if you ever notice, all the skins that come out, they become more and more ultra violence, ultra tracer pack, because they want you to feel like you have the best of the best and there's nothing better to get until they come up with the next stupid ass idea. So what I gotta say is this, and these cutscenes with these guns, how these transformers hop off the guns, or this chainsaw on the gun is like mutilating the gun and creating some kind of effect. Who is doing this? If this is AI, then we ought to be really terrified for our future, because AI is sick. I mean, it's cool in some senses, you know, it does have some cool abilities, but it's sick. Do you need I say more? I say this. Look at your bundles. Look at your bundles, your purchases on your game. Can you be the first person to say that the only bundles you have on your game are just the ones that PlayStation gave to you for free? I can. I'll make a video and I'll show you guys. I can. And then when you look at your list, and you see your list go all the way down like a Netflix home screen, you're purchasing all these characters for the price of watching a damn new movie. 20 to 25 bucks. Are you out of your mind, dude? 25 times 4 is what? 100. Not 101, not 99. I went to school when there was a pencil and paper. I went to school when everything was the most difficult, in my opinion. Do you remember when we had those surprise tests and we had to test our skills of how to multiply really quickly? We had what was it, 5 minutes to answer it all, and it just shows who gets humiliated in class. Oh, I was really good in my math, in my multiplication, and all of my stuff. That was something I took very seriously. When I passed my general course. But the point that I'm trying to make is, we went to school when we had to put our chairs on top of the tables. We were the tough. We were the few. We were the ones. There was no phones. If we wanted to listen to music, it was a tape or CD. So now, I'm going to say this. We are living in a different era. And this era is companies knowing that they could fool the masses into spending money. And I challenge you to look at your bundle selections. And when you see how much money you spent, honestly, unless you're a millionaire, unless you're making money, huge amounts of money. I don't make a huge amount of money on YouTube. I'm lucky if I could get $100 and something every 6 months, 7 months, because I rely on my super chats. I don't make enough views to make money. So for everybody in the community that gives me the super chats and brings me to that level, I can't love you any less. You guys have all made me who I am. That's where my little source of income. So I get about $101 every 6 months if I'm lucky. And I have to push and I have to say, let's get this goal thing started. Now I know YouTube has this new thing in May where they made it more possible for you to make more money because they advertise your channel with more views and all that stuff. So I thank YouTube for that. But I also feel as though sometimes the channel can be sort of controlled, where you get a couple people to subscribe and then you get a couple people to jump off. And sometimes I don't even think it's the own people jumping off. I just think it's someone behind the control panel just taking a couple away. I don't know why. My intuition tells me that. I'm very superstitious, circumstantial, super national. So anyways, that is my whole talk on everything with Call of Duty, with all these games that are coming out. Challenge yourself this week. Look at your bundle purchases and see how much money you really spent and what you gained out of it. Absolutely nothing. You gained to show everybody else that you're part of the problem and not the solution. I say this at the risk of my reputation, at the risk of ridicule, because there's a lot of people that I believe that I am associated, friends with, acquaintances with, that have purchased this stuff. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, we want a better game. We want to feel like we are truly playing the game that we have grown in our blood, in our veins, in our blood, in our sweat, in our tears, and everything, in the adrenaline that we get playing the game. I remember when we landed on Verdansk for the first time in 2019, it was more than the best. There was a feeling of like, you know what? I might have to just stay home from work on this one. I already told everybody that as soon as I get out, as soon as I'm done, I'm going straight to the war zone because it was something special. It was very special. And you know, everybody talks about it. They make videos about it. But do you remember those moments when you're just playing the game and it's just you on the map, everybody's dead, and you actually win the match because it was real competitiveness and you won the match and you really felt something more than what you're feeling now in Call of Duty? Even when you win in this Call of Duty, it's like, oh, same thing again. Yep, you won. Get on the helicopter, take off. No, in that game, the gun sounds made you feel like you were on a real war zone. Don't give me a grenade that goes off and sounds like a puff, like a puff, ba-boom, puff. No, a grenade is supposed to go ba-boom. It's supposed to make you feel like everything around you exploded. Or the C4 in 2019, when that blew up, it blew everything up and all over the place. Now, it sounds good, don't get me wrong, but you know it's AI sound, it's not the real sound. It's AI. So until AI perfects real sound of the gunplay and the character and everything like that, it's not the same. It's not the same. All right, guys. We're taking over. I'm an advocate against these companies exploiting communities, my community and all the other communities.